on for a quick little collective message. I assume you guys are all probably getting on with your evening business, but I just felt guided to just come on and just do a little sharing and do a little collective reading. So before I begin, we'll just to become centered and bring our focus to our highest frequency so that we may receive and gain the highest frequency available to us. I'll just take a breath first. Breathing into our heart space as if our heart chakra had an air hole. Take a nice deep breath in, a little deeper, a little deeper. Feel into your energy, feel your vibration, visualize that light emanating, expanding, bringing forth that experience. And exhale. Symbol of the sun coming up over the horizon. Looks like a cross representing the challenges, the pain that we've come to transmute through our soul's experience to gain the insight, the wisdom, the healing. Also represents the crosshair in a scope, representing the center, the heart chakra being the center, the crosshair, the portal to all that we are. Representative of our God source center, the center that connects us to all that we are, to all timelines, to all experiences. Sun. The sun in the sky is representative of the sun, that we are, that love, that light, that awareness, that warmth, that joy, that life-giving force. Also represents the sun, the S-O-N. We're all sons and daughters of the light, of God's source energy. I always like to say it also represents the Sunday. Sunday as an ice cream, the sweetness of life that we have come to enjoy through our transmuting, through our healing, and through our clearing. This is a piggyback from last night's live, and life always is, right? Every step we take, we take the healing, the clearing, the wisdom, the knowledge we gained. So here, say, was a dark spot. We experienced it, but through our surrendering, our allowing, going through the experience, witnessing the experience, we release the light in it. And then we take all of that light and then we go, boop, to the next experience, and the next, and the next, and the next. And we keep adding all that we've learned. All of the light activated helps to activate, like a domino effect, all of the other light codes and experiences that needed a certain frequency to be reached first. So as we reach a certain frequency, then we're allowed to go to the next opening, the next bubble, the next dimension of experience. So what came to me today is, as we experience the darkness or these challenges in life, our soul came based in all of its experiences, simultaneous experiences. So wisdom and knowledge that has been gained from other timelines, we're holding in our light. But our soul came to experience a certain darkness, a certain limitation, a certain veiled experience, veiled from the truth that it is, veiled from the love that exists within that experience. So our experience of the darkness is very unique unto us based on all of our other experiences. Not unlike someone who might experience poverty might experience it in a different way, or someone who's been betrayed might experience and have their own take of the darkness. But because we have our own individual experiences of the quote-unquote darkness, which really holds the light within it, as we go through that experience of that darkness, even though many people may be experiencing similar core situations, the fine details are different, dependent on your divine frequency, your soul that is holding all of many other dimensional experiences within it. So it experiences that dark experience differently. It might feel more profound. It might feel a little lighter. You might have a different take on it. But then what you do is you allow that density, that darkness, to bring you within, to connect to the divinity so that you may find the light. We intuitively know we're God's source energy. We intuitively know we are heaven. We intuitively know love is the only truth. So when we enter this darkness, we intuitively know to go within, or to at least ask a question from our head. What's going on here? What is the meaning of life? Why do I have to go through this? Why do I keep repeating certain cycles? So in that asking, we shall receive, arms wide open. In the mind, we may ask initially, but when we ask with our arms wide open, we can access that spiritual energy, that deeper spiritual energy which lies within our heart, that is always love, freedom, liberation, and healing. So then, because our soul experiences its own unique experience of a certain situation, we'll call it darkness or fear. You could even call it devil or sin, betrayal, whatever it is, something we experience in the world. Our take is a little bit different than someone who experiences the exact same situation, right? Because our frequency is unique unto ourselves. Then that causes us to go within, and then we gain our own take of the light as well, because all of our experiences are unique, all based in love, but then we gain new information on the same experience that someone else might have had, but their take on that same experience, they end up sharing. So where the sharing comes in the expression individual to us, it's a culmination of power of three is what Spirit is saying. It's a culmination of the entirety of all our soul's experiences. And it's comprised of the take it has on the darkness, the dark limited experience that the human had to go through. But then that also brought us to our new take perception of the light, our own experience of the light, the power of three. So the wholeness of who we are extracts what we get or how we experience the darkness and then what we gain from the light. So not unlike someone who maybe they went through a war and they're different, their experience was, the core was the same, but they had different details about it that they experienced or that touched them in a different way based on their quantum soul self. And that caused them to go within and to connect to the unique gifts, wisdom, understanding, and experiences that they have also that were triggered by that outside darkness, which is why we're all love, but then that expression, what we come to share or exude or illuminate in this timeline is unique unto ourselves. It has its own tweak and it has its own take, just like there's a zillion or millions of English teachers, but they all have their unique individual way of expressing it, or healers or teachers or channelers based on their core wounding, based on what their soul came to transmute, what ancestral lineage they decided to come, so they perceive that darkness a little different. What seems really dark or traumatic to someone else might not seem that way to you because you might have already healed those types of energies in different ways. And so that all gives us that unique sun that we've come to shine, that unique expression. And I know this may seem all common sense and back to basic, but I just really love the way that the gym, that Spirit was kind of speaking to me as I was working out in the gym about this. And it was just, I was listening to my own replay last night because I like to listen, because when I'm in the thrux of it, sometimes I don't absorb it as much. I'm just kind of channeling, and then I go back to my normal thing. And so I'm listening and I'm like, wow, that's really beautiful. Or it poses me to question another question, or I gain more insight as I'm listening back to something that was channeled the day before, because life is an expansion and it's always expanding from that base core soul's experience, and everything's extending. Every experience is extending and merging, rippling, snowballing from that point. Energy is never lost. It helps with the continuum. One frequency builds another. Just like in school, we don't immediately become seniors and graduated. We needed to go through the different steps. Every step represents a different vibration, frequency. Every vibration and frequency represents different information that we're allowed not allowed, that we're able to perceive in the human, from the human point of view. We have all that information within us, but to actually live it as a human, we've got to go through our processes, our steps, our ascension, essentially our ascension, ascending, rising in frequency. Every rise in frequency is a gain in clarity. It's an opening to another experience in order to maybe experience another darkness, but then it brings you to more light and experience. So I wanted to share that. So we all have our own take and experience of the darkness, right? Whatever that is. Something happened outside of us, happened to us, within us. It's all us, right? Our soul came for that experience based on our quantum self, our makeup. And then that creates that new take on the insight, the light that we come to express. So that's why all pieces are needed. We can experience, every single person on Facebook could be put into a. Why am I always on low battery lately? It's a representative of me being a little more tired lately. Let me plug in. So I don't know. I just thought it was a cool way, a new way for spirit to just kind of bring that information forth. And again, it's always the power of three, the wholeness of who we are combined with the dark, and that dark activates and instigates and catalyzes more light to be emanated into our experience. And what we're doing is we're literally embodying more and more of our God self, more of our consciousness is revealed to us, and then we get to experience it. Then we go within, then we experience it again. It's like little circles, out, 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 but it's also like the infinity. It also is like the infinity. We go in, gain on that infinity, even on that outward. There's lots of little connecting areas. And so we go out and then we get to experience it. And then Linda posted a beautiful reel that she shared that was about the spiral. And the spiral essentially too starts to look a little circle, a little bigger, 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 and bigger, and bigger. So we're always building from our frequency, and every frequency is perfect as it is. That is why there is no right or wrong experience. It is a frequency our soul came to experience in order to continue that expansion, that awareness, popping. Eric is saying it's a popping of bubbles, popping of consciousness within us, popping, 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 popping. Last night he used the analogy of bazooka bubblegum. And I was talking about the orbs that look like these big droplets coming from the sun that everyone posts. There's like a protrusion, a droplet. Well, that is symbolic of our light, these conscious dimensions that are bursting into our awareness to be lived outside of us. So I just thought that was really awesome. So I wanted to share that. And then also what I realized also from listening to the replay last night's video, and thank you everyone who joined in that, was about our soul's experience and honoring that. I really love the way that Spirit spoke about our soul's experience also being a unique and individual unto itself, but it chose it. And we deny ourselves the experience when we think we need to try so hard or to achieve so hard sometimes, because our soul came for a certain experience and we need to go through those certain frequency points in order to get to the next experience. So there really is no rushing the process. Pretty much it's just like you got to open up and just kind of let it go. And yeah, part of a soul's experience may be to experience that hard push and that achieving. All of that is part of it. But essentially, it's about just trusting and allowing the process of where we are in every moment. It's kind of like that spiral. It's kind of like the infinity. It's kind of like the concentric, like circles moving out. We can't rush it. We can't make it happen. So when we try to, we not deny, but it feels like it. That feels like it because we're never in denial of anything because we are all of it, but we can create the experience of slowing down, denial, victimhood, separation when we don't allow that process. And when we allow it and just love it, we give it lots of honor and respect and gratitude and thankfulness, and allowing the process that our soul came to experience as you, and you. And what are you? Well, you are all of that darkness. You are all of that light, insight, and you are all of that quantum self. So we got to allow this little timeline where what we're experiencing in this now with honor and respect. And so knowing that also that our soul chose that, and I know we already know it, but the way Spirit spoke of it last night brought great clarity for me. So in that, in knowing nothing is outside of us because it's all us, right? It's all us anyways. And our soul came for that. The more we can appreciate it, love it, and accept it and honor it, it's like we can choop, 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 choop faster, expand faster. And not that there's any faster, but also this brought to mind some of the most painful, heart-wrenching experiences, relationships, things that we've gone through that really crack us open and make us bleed are so beautiful because our soul came for that in order to gain the healing, the experience of it. Yes, essentially, we are already whole. We are already healed. But like Spirit said earlier, our soul came, diminished itself a little bit into this physical experience to bring light to the darkness, right? Through a physical experience and expression. There's much depth in that. We're already whole, but we wanted the experience of it and the expansion of it. So that's why we created polarities, contrasts. It takes all of it. So the situations, the darkest of the dark areas in life that you may have experienced through loss, betrayal, separation, disappointment, just trauma in any way, shape, or form, we can honor that as well and respect that as well because that also came from our soul. So if we're able to honor ourselves and our soul for everything, knowing, hey, holy crap, I'm experiencing this pain and my soul came for it and I'm honoring my soul. I'm doing exactly and being exactly where I'm supposed to be. It gives us a different perspective of all the stuff that we've gone through in the past with greater honor. We can honor the outside expression of that darkness that our soul came to experience because it is us as well. That person that might have stabbed you or that situation that turned on you or let you down or whatever it is, our soul came for that. So when we bring honor and respect to that, we bring honor and respect to ourselves, but to all of eternity as well, and to the healing. So our soul came to experience certain pains, the darkness, to trigger the light, but also to heal the quantum parts of ourself, meaning ancestral lineage. So we are healing ourself and our quantum self through the experience of whatever made your heart bleed or your physical body bleed in any way, shape, or form. Whatever brings you that pain, that sadness, that feeling of separation, it is that same situation that made you feel the separation is where you are healing it. There is nothing separate from you. It was something within our consciousness that projected into the darkness to bring it to our awareness, to turn us to our divinity, to heal and become whole. We're already whole, but we wanted to have the human experience of it. So whatever that person, a place, or thing is, even ourself, that has caused us the greatest pain, and it's always from self, right? Is also because we are here in this time to end the cycles of the past, to heal our ancestors, which is to heal pieces of ourself. So then we create, it's like a new dimension protruding from us. So as we heal that thing, whatever it is, that emotion, that state of being, that consciousness, the consciousness opens up and it literally is projecting like an orb from the sun, creating a reality that reflects that healing and that peace. And I know this is nothing new as well. I just like the way the old is made new again through a new frequency. So every time we experience something, it's already something we might have experienced or said before, kind of like the spiral. What hungry means to what dinner time means to a kindergartner dinner time might mean different to an adult. The kindergartner might not want dinner. It might not want to be bothered. It might want to be just go out and play and doesn't want to be disturbed. But the adult part is like, holy crap, I'm hungry. Give me some food. Oh, this tastes so good. You know what I mean? So the perspective is different. The experience is different. The definition, the label, the light is shining differently based on what stage we're at in that spiral. But then we take that kindergarten self, and that kindergarten self is still with us, and we just keep taking it through that spiral, up that spiral staircase. And so I just love that. So I love the way that old information is always brought to us, and we get a different tweak, we get a different understanding from it. So I just wanted to share that, and I'll just do a collective. So I just want to say, during this time, and the solar eclipse is nothing separate from us as well. It is representing our transformations, our shifts. It's all operating as one. So I'm just going to pull 2 cards. One on, okay, so the message was about healing, and maybe whatever is still tender or in your awareness or something that you're going through, what that healing, what is that painful thing that is bringing, what kind of healing is it bringing forth? What kind of healing is it bringing forth? So the feeling and the emotion, what is that healing? And then just the angel ancestors, how is it healing? Like, you know how it's connected to our quantum self, ancestral lineage that we hold, and that's part of our quantum self, that our soul came to experience the pain, the trauma, in order, because we're at a new frequency, so we're able to handle it and bring forth the light, the wisdom, the healing in it. Even though we're already healed, we created the idea of not being healed. We created the idea of separation. We created the idea of something outside of us, right? So we are coming for that. It's funny, like we're just pulling it all back in. We're just pulling it all back in and realigning. It's so funny. So we started off whole, then we had to go way out here, and now we're pulling it all right back in. It's almost like we are, what was the word? It's not imploding, right? What's the word when you implode on yourself? It's like we're calling everything back in and going back in. So here we were, all nice and shiny and in spirit, and we came out and created all of these outside expressions, and then that might have gotten distorted or polluted or whatever, and then we had to experience it. We wanted to experience it to spark more light, more perceptions. So every experience, this is so awesome. It helps me to understand, why would we do this to begin with if we already are all that? But we're always expanding as well. We are that, but we're continuing that expansion as well. So we created all these different experiences, right? Because it gave us a different frequency, compression, decompression, but yet holding light. Then we create this other thing to experience on earth. And what it did is it continues the expansion because it gave us a new experience, a new perception and understanding, which activated another insight, another wisdom, another thing to take from it. It just like we did it because if we were just here in spirit, we're just kind of I don't even know if we're vibrating or just stagnant or whatever, light. But then as we projected out, we created a gazillion, because we're all connected. Like all of you guys are a piece of me, out doing different things and gaining different understandings and insight, which continues that creation. We're always giving birth and creating more and more and more and more and more, and illuminating more and more and more and more. Boom, light. So we're going to see what ancestor, we'll see how I can't explain it. We'll see how it comes out. The healing and the ancestral lineage that we are bringing forth in our light as a collective. I'll just do a collective. And I love it. I love it when I gain all that, because it's like everything. It just gives me so much clarity and understanding, and in my body I can really feel it and see it. But then obviously I get out of this channeling mode, then I'll go into life. I just would love to hold the clarity of this all the time, and we are sustaining that more and more and more and more and more. Where as we make the old new again, what we're also doing by bringing back to basic messages and understandings is we're reinforcing in the physical that understanding, that light, and that wisdom. So if we get it back to basic and we get it just once, just Eric's going just once, and then we keep repeating it with higher frequencies, it really becomes instilled, and then it becomes more constant, more sustainable. It's like when you're trying to do something, it takes practice, or you do it over and over, and then it's like second nature. Whether it's an affirmation, a prayer, a way of life, way of eating, exercising, communicating. At first, the first time you do it, you're like, this feels so good. But then you might slip back into something different, right? But then you get to experience it again. And then pretty soon it just becomes part of your routine, part of your being, part of what you're embodying. From our awareness, we're always embodying pure love and light. Pure love and light is the only thing that is truly real at its core. But then we have fractalized, diluted, distorted, which is beautiful. It's not a bad thing. It's beautiful because it gave our light, our witness, something new to perceive and experience in order to bring it back to the divinity and see it from a higher perspective. It's just really cool. It's cool how all that works out. Maybe not when you're in the thick of it. I just wish to remember everything when I'm in the thick of things. But what kind of activated was, it was something, it was kind of just something hurtful within myself. And it's always from myself, right? Somebody else just reflects and mirrors some sort of pain body within me, right? To feel bad about. And today I just really felt like I had a shift in that. I really just want to say, thank you. Thank you for this experience. Thank you for this communication, because, oh my God, my soul yearned for this. It really, really wanted this pain in order to bring about the healing, the light in it. And what's the light? It's just knowing that. For me, it was simply knowing, it was just witnessing that, oh my God, that's the reason. It's just to bring about that healing of the energies. I don't need to know all the specifics. Just knowing that makes everything okay for me. All right. So I'm just going to do a collective for tonight, guys. I don't see comments yet, so that's the way Facebook operates sometimes. I see people on, but I don't see comments. So I'm not ignoring you. Usually the comments will pop up when I'm done talking. Let me just see here. Maybe I'll see a comment now. Oh, there it is. All right. 2 and 2. Son of a bee. So I wanted just one, but, spirit's abundant, right? So I got 2 healing and 2 ancestors. We're going to just see how they bleed, blend, merge together. All right. I just got out of the bath, guys, so that's why I'm all whatever. All right. So, whatever has been really hard for you, very traumatic, very painful, and I'm feeling it's going to be more emotional, bringing and triggering more of that emotional pain. This is the reading for it. Beneath the surface, what's really driving you? True motives and breaking free. Let me just see both of them first, and we'll see how they go together. So that's this one. What's below the surface? And to me, that's immediately telling us sometimes what we think is driving us is just a cover-up. It's just a cover-up in the sense that there's something really deeper going on. So maybe you are a big, big achiever, someone who's got a really high achiever, always trying to get straight A's, be at the top of their game. Sometimes it's because they really have deeper insecurities underneath the surface. So at some level they feel, if they can do this, if they can do that, if I can just achieve that, if I can get that affirmation, or if I can get that award or that certification or that degree, then I'm good enough. then I've proven myself to the world. So sometimes what we do and what motivates us is covering up something deeper that is wounded or being healed. So what this is saying here is that we're breaking free of that. We're breaking free of the need to prove, to achieve, to do things that are not in alignment to who we really are. Peace, love, joy, right? So what was our motive to keep doing something? Was it out of fear? Was it because we thought we needed to, because there was no other way, that there was no other opportunity or no other situation that could become available to us, due to a fear of or a lack belief as well? So it's always to do with some sort of lack belief, whether you think that you weren't good enough or worthy of something. It's a soul experience based in some ancestral wounding that we have actually come to break. Like, I used to always think I needed to be busy and working. And I always thought if I was working and I was busy, because that's the way I was brought up, then I was good. Then I was doing the right thing. Like when I did hair, I would take clients day in, day out. I had my business in my home. If they came to the door on a Sunday, I would take them in. There was something. It wasn't that I was just loving my hair, doing hair, because I wasn't loving it to that extent, but there was something deeper motivating me. So we're being healed of trauma and pain that lies beneath the surface of certain actions that we have taken. Isn't that beautiful? We're breaking free of them. I love the way that this is all coming together, how this is coming together with the message, the soul's experiences as well, to do with what it chose to break free of cycles, heal the human parts of, that ancestral experience. So beneath the surface, we're breaking free of anything that is not alignment or authentic to our heart and to our soul, to our joy. We're aligning to our freedom to be ourself. Healed. We're always healed, but we're healing the outward expression of who we are to be lived in that way. All right. The other healing card, what is it called? Healing Waters. The Pearl, Alchemy. The reward at the end, from grit to grace. So that's just representing also, how a pearl is created in a clam. An oyster. Some clams, but mainly oysters. I just read that they used to think it was from a piece of sand causing an irritant, but it's actually from a parasite. I heard somebody else say one time. But the parasite, you think of what a parasite does. It feeds off you, it eats, it disturbs your equilibrium, your balance. It's like sucking life force from you in some way, shape, or form. So to protect itself from the parasite, it's built a barrier to protect itself. And then over time, it creates that pearl. So I guess whether you think it's a parasite or whether you think it's a grain of sand, it's the same thing. It was to form a protection in the oyster's habitat, and it created a pearl. But it created it created an irritant, right? Which created the pearl is what it's really about. So those irritants, this is also piggybacking off the main channel about the soul choosing those pains to heal. Well, also those pains were catalysts to bring forth the pearl, the reward, the abundance. Usually pearls can be many different colors, but I always think of it typically as white, representing that divinity, meaning all of the effort is worth it, basically. All of the effort of all of the healing, all of the grit, all of the grime, all of the pain, all of the trauma, the soul came for it. So honor it and respect it like a pearl, they're saying. Honor the pain, even if you're still in the thick of something, and you don't see the pearl yet in your reality, honor it for the pearl that it is in truth, is what they're saying. So alchemy, the reward at the end, from grit to grace. That is so beautiful. Both of these are really beautiful. They're always beautiful. All right, so ancestors. Let's see what it has. How this These are going to tie into the ancestor shapeshifter. Transform and unveil your gifts. This is cool. So transform and unveil your gifts. This kind of goes along with the pearl as well. It's like the pearl is that gift. It is that reward. It is seeing the fruition. But what I see in the background here, as I'm looking at this, see how this is an eagle or hawk, or it's a hawk, right? Right here. I see in the background here a bird. I see wings right here. Oh, wings and like a bird. Oh, this looks like a phoenix rising sort of. So right here, there's a tiny little beak, eyes, and kind of these pointed ears, and these big wings. So to me, it's representing of a transformation too, which the pearl is transformative, right? Who would have guessed that parasite or a sand would transform into a pearl? It was an irritant within the clam. And then here we have that as well. Shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. Well, the pearl was a major transformation from what it began. And it's an unveiling. It's an unveiling. It's like magic. Who would guess that process would create that? So your process is shifting you to unveil your true self right here. Not being motivated by what, looking at what is really motivating you and transforming and healing those energies, shift you to allow your true nature to shine. So what we're changing ancestral, quantumly connecting to our ancestral lineage is transforming and unveiling our gifts, not living from a place of lack, victim, unworthiness, achievement for the sake of achievement. Free of a lot of unnecessary action and energy, settling into ourself and shifting and unveiling those gifts, those talents, that light, those powers that we are. The wolf, maybe that's a coyote. I don't know. It looks a little coyote-ish. But sometimes you got to be a lone wolf. Sometimes you got to be a leader of the pack. That piggybacks on our own perceptions, the beginning channel of the dark and the light in our quantum self, bringing forth that light of our own individual take on things, anchoring in that unique light, seeing things higher up, higher perspective, seeing from divinity, seeing through your lens. His eyes are different colored as well. To me, that represents the unifying of the polarities, the contrast, seeing the pain, seeing the healing in the pain, seeing and merging the opposing forces. Pain equals healing. If we allow it, we're allowing that now. We're seeing it from a different perspective and point of view. Full moon also can be representative of all of the eclipse, new moon, full moons, all of the different dimensions, orbs that we were talking about. And there's a snake, I guess, here representing shedding our skin, transforming, coming into a bigger, higher frequency version of ourselves. And then the wings to me represent freedom. And the Native American represents to me that connection to earth, really changing our reality. Oh, I guess most of these probably are natives, aren't they? Peacekeeper, let go of the need to be right. Let go of the need to be right. So that could go along really good with this. Sometimes we say things or we do things because we're trying to prove that we're right, or maybe we guise it as saying, oh, we're helping, or I'm supporting, oh, I'm just giving you good advice. But maybe sometimes we're doing it from a place of lack of trust in the universe, trusting someone else's guidance, trusting that what we're hearing really is true for us. So when we feel the need to prove or say or help, we're guising maybe sometimes help with really just trying to be right, proving the need to be right because we're still believing or creating some sort of lack mentality. All perspectives are right, actually, right? All perspectives and all experiences are valid according to that person's soul experience. There's nothing to change. If we think we need to change someone, something, impart something with that intent, then that's also coming from a place of separation, because all is connected to the divinity of themselves, whole, whether it seems it or not, part of that soul's experience of acceptance. So as we can come into accepting our own soul's experiences, the pain, the all the things that we think might have not have been so hot for us in the past, or traumatic, or mistakes we think we made, or whatever past we might not have taken but we did, or should have but didn't, all of that stuff, when we know it was part of the soul's experience in the process, we come to a deeper love and acceptance, respect and honor. And in that, when we do that for ourselves, we're at peace, and then we're able to accept others' ways as well. So we can let go of the need to be right, because we realize everything is really right in the end. So it says, as peacekeeper. So we're coming into peacekeeping, letting go of the need to be right. So we look at countries that are always at war and at odds and think they're the right one, or they need to prove, and all of that. So all of us guys here watching now and later, the fourth new information that we're breaking free from. So we're not hiding our gifts, we're unveiling them, and we're shape-shifting into our own self. Here, meaning we're not, we're aligning to our authenticity. We're not being anything other than ourselves, which is allowing our gifts. And we're accepting the pain, because it takes pain to transform to bring something into a healing. So when we tap in and tune into our gifts, they activate our gifts. Challenges activate our gifts. The oyster would not have had a pearl without its challenge. And then the other one is peacekeeping, the need to be right. And this goes along with the emotion of what's lying beneath the surface. What's motivating us? Well, we're letting go of the need to be right. We're just peacekeepers. We're part of the pack, but we're holding the peace. We're just accepting. We're accepting where the individuals are in their pack. We're grounding that energy. We're standing strong in it. We're bringing that forth in our reality by being the peacekeeper first, by trusting, allowing, and honoring our soul's journey every step of the way. Every step was needed to be where we are now. And we could say, well, I'm not so exactly sure I want to be where I am now. What about that? Well, trusting that where you are now is taking you to where you need to be. That experience is still to be honored, and it is still necessary.